Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining today's Amtrak Vacations webinar on the top 5 cross-country rail journeys that should be on your bucket list, either for this year or even possibly for next year. So welcome aboard, everyone. And today I have an exciting virtual train tour for all of you, talking about not only some great cross-country journeys, but even some train experiences as well that you might find interesting, or maybe start planning for your next dream vacation by rail. So what we'll cover in today's presentation is not only the important things to know about when traveling by train are, but we'll talk about popular destinations to consider for your next rail vacation, as well as how we can route your rail vacation from your hometown. And with all of us here at Yankee Leisure Group, we have two very distinct brands. To our left is Amtrak Vacations. This is the brand we'll be talking about more today. Amtrak Vacations is the official tour operator for Amtrak, where Amtrak moves over 3 million passengers each year on its rail system, traveling with over 30-plus different routes, and of course has serviced over 500-plus stations. Again, we can customize and tailor-make our packages to start right from your hometown. And we not only take care of those onboard accommodations like the private sleepers, but we also, of course, take care of those lodges in the national parks, hotel stays in those popular cities, as well as sightseeing tours, transfers, rental cars, and so much more. And then to our right is Rail Bookers. Now, Rail Bookers is our international brand where we travel to destinations such as Canada, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and beyond. But did you know, folks, that we also offer Alaska, traveling to Alaska by rail, where you can be able to visit places like Denali or Fairbanks, see the Northern Lights, or even go down to Seward to see Kenai Fjords National Park. Again, we got it all here at Rail Bookers, not only those onboard accommodations, but the sightseeing tours, transfers, hotel accommodations, and so much more. And all of our rail vacation packages, folks, can be booked as early as today and as far out as 2024. So again, we can start planning your dream vacation for this year, or if you start, maybe thinking about it for 2024, whenever you're ready to travel, we're here to help you with that. And why travelers love Amtrak Vacations? Number one, because we are the rail experts. Folks, we know these rail routes, the best times to ensure that you have the best vacation possible. And we could book any of our rail vacation packages, as I mentioned earlier today, and as far out as 2024. So as if you're starting to look for, this year, trying to start planning your bucket list trip, or even for next year, we got you covered. We also offer maximum flexibility, so any destination, any date, for any length of time. Simply put it, if the train goes there, so do we. And we offer the largest rail vacation selection to choose from luxurious rail journeys to multi-country experiences to even extending your cruise. So if you have, maybe booked a river or ocean cruise, and you want to connect, an Amtrak Vacations trip or even a Rail Bookers trip, for those who want to travel internationally, we can definitely assist you with that. And no rail trip is too complicated for us, because where it's confusing for most, it is very simple for us, because it goes back to that major point. We are the rail experts. Now, what are the options available with Amtrak Vacations? I kind of gave you a little bit of a snippet when we talked about the two distinct brands, but just to go a little more in depth, what Amtrak Vacations offers. Number one, we can add any destination to our package. So I always like to give the example of our Grand Canyon Getaway. And our Grand Canyon Getaway is a great option for those who want to experience Grand Canyon National Park this year, but maybe they want to add another destination, like maybe they want to go to Santa Fe, see a little bit more of the Southwest, get that Southwest vibe, or maybe they want to go all the way out west to Los Angeles and be able to see the beautiful coastline and see Santa Monica State Pier, or maybe visit Hollywood. But again, we can customize and add on a destination to your package. We can even add on extra nights. So let's say you want to visit the national parks, and included in our package is 2 nights, but you want to make it a 3rd night or a 4th night. No problem. We can add on extra nights to your package. As I mentioned before, Amtrak services over 500-plus stations right here in the U.S., and we can make it round trip from your hometown. So let's say you're from my neck of the woods. I'm up here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. If you want to be able to travel from Spokane, Washington, which is 30 minutes away, we can customize that and start from Spokane, or wherever you are located around the U.S. Ask our travel consultants. We'll be more than happy to assist you with making it customized from your hometown. We can upgrade your rail tickets from coach to business on some of those shorter distance trains, or even coach to those private sleepers on those long distance trains. And last but not least, we can add on additional sightseeing tours or upgrade those tours to fully private tours. I can't tell you how much, folks, we're seeing more people booking more private tours with us than ever before. Why? Because they get to be able to have more to their private tour. They could see more, they can be able to experience more, and they have that more private experience with the guide. And also, sometimes they get to see some hidden gems that are not usually included in a regular group tour. Speaking of course tours, our first vacation package on our virtual train tour today is going to be our America Coast to Coast package. This is one of our most popular packages that we're seeing being booked right now. So if this is something that you're interested in, definitely, of course, open your ears and open your eyes, because we're going to go visit all of America with our America Coast to Coast package. So this wonderful trip starts in the beautiful city of New York City there, the Big Apple, then goes down to Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, and then it heads over to Chicago, followed by Denver, and you get to be able to visit Rocky Mountain National Park. So why not hit a national park up here on this great package, followed by heading over to Salt Lake City and then ending in San Francisco. Again, you're going to be seeing a lot of great destinations along the way, including the Windy City here of Chicago with a wonderful 2-night stay. You get to be able to see all that this wonderful city has to offer. From you get to be able to check out the art museums, you could take a lake cruise, maybe go to the to the Sears Tower. All of that, is available to you. We can include in our packages with our hop on, hop off bus tour. We also, include a city pass, a lot of great value for you to be able to explore the city when you're experiencing this package. And then after time exploring, those destinations like New York City, Chicago, you're going to take the Capital Limited from Washington, D.C. over to Chicago. Then you're going to climb on board one of my favorite trains. This is the California ZEPHYR. Now, the California ZEPHYR is arguably one of Amtrak's most popular train routes in its fleet, because it goes through some amazing scenic points along the journey, such as the Colorado Rockies, going through the canyons, and even the Red Rocks of Utah before you head over through the Donner Pass and just go through the high Sierra Nevada. It's honestly a beautiful train trip. It should be on everyone's bucket list, and this is a great opportunity to think about it, doing it this year with the family or even with your loved ones. And you'll arrive in, of course, to Denver, Colorado. That's, of course, a beautiful city. Got a great railroad train station there. It's very old, one of the oldest in history. You also, of course, can be able to check out the city center there. You can check out the course stadium. You can be able to check out the zoo. You can check out the Natural History Museum, even the museum or the mall area. So much great opportunity to see and explore Denver. But one of my favorite parts about going to see Denver is actually taking our day trip to Rocky Mountain National Park. This is an iconic national park, and of course, it's famous because it situates itself along the Rocky Mountains. After time exploring Denver Rocky Mountain National Park with our day tour there, we then, of course, take you over to Salt Lake City, again, going through the scenic parts of the trip, going through the Rockies, going through the canyons on the California ZEPHYR, going through Moffett Tunnel, one of the world's longest tunnels, going through, of course, through the Rockies. And it's just honestly a stunning trip. And Amtrak does a great job of allowing you to see this, this stunning scenery during the day. And they actually have a staff on board that will talk about and even highlight some of the features of the route. And then before long, you arrive in the evening time around close to 11 o'clock to Salt Lake City, where you, of course, get to be able to check out the nightlife, explore some of what this beautiful city has to offer, including also a history tour that shows you some of the historical points of interest when visiting Salt Lake City. After time exploring Salt Lake City, you'll then climb back on board the California ZEPHYR, heading further west, going through the high Sierra Nevadas, get to be able to visit Donner Lake, the Donner Pass, before you get to be able to see the beautiful beaches of California and arrive into the city of San Francisco, the city that never sleeps. And you get to be able to check out the Golden Gate Bridge. You can check out Alcatraz, even see a wonderful maybe get some a cable car ride, maybe go over to Chinatown, get some great Chinese food. All of that will be, of course, shown to you with one of our sightseeing tours and more if you want to add to your package. So, folks, this is our America Coast to Coast package. It is 15 days, starting at $3,299. Again, a great value where you get to be able to see, New York City, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Denver, and the Rocky Mountain National Park, Salt Lake City, and San Francisco, all in this wonderful package. You got all of your hotels, your sightseeing tours, and your train accommodations included with this great rail vacation. All right, folks. So now we're going to head out of the U.S. and go up into Canada, and we're going to talk about our Canadian rail experience. This is a great option for those who are saying, "Hey, you know what? As Canada's opening back up, we want to be able to travel across Canada and see, all the beautiful scenery that Canada has to offer by rail." And that's something I have to say is one of the most iconic ways to see the country is by rail. I've done it myself. Highly recommend it. And this trip starts in the beautiful city of Toronto, where you get to be able to stay with us there for one night to be able to explore the city, check out the CN Tower. And I highly suggest this is if you're going to book this trip with us, ask our travel consultants to assist you with maybe getting a lunch or dinner reservation right at the top of the CN Tower. What a great way to include for your trip. After your night stay in Toronto, you then climb on board the legendary Via Rail Canadian train. Now, the Canadian train is a very popular route, folks, and it's arguably one of the again, Via Rail's most popular train routes of its fleet, and it does book up well in advance. So if this is something that you're looking to do, I highly suggest booking again well out in advance with us. That way, our consultants can make sure we get you those private sleeping accommodations on board, including what's famous for is the Prestige class. Now, the Prestige class is literally that five-star luxury experience with a queen bed for two. It also, of course, is the largest cabin on board with butler service. You have your own private ensuite with bathroom, shower included, large picturesque window, and my favorite part, you have access to the park car. The park car is the last car on the train where you get the observation area, private observation dome, bar service, and of course even snacks and lounge area also too. It's again a great option for those who really want the ultimate train experience. And you'll many times see people traveling on board heading over to the Panorama Car, which is open during the high season, where people can be able to get that floor-to-window ceiling observation dome car. It's something that you would see on a lot of trains like the Alaska Railroad or Rocky Mountaineer. This is a beautiful train car, fully refurbished, and offers some stunning scenery as you're going through the Canadian Rockies, going through, of course, the panoramic views of the five provinces you'll be traveling through. Which, by the way, you'll be going through five provinces: Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, as well as British Columbia. And it's a 4-night, 4-day journey. Honestly, one of the most spectacular that I would highly recommend when visiting Canada. And then after your 4-night journey, you'll arrive into the beautiful city of Vancouver, right on the Pacific Northwest, and you'll stay there with us for 2 nights to explore the city and all that it has to offer. And even if you want to do a day trip over to Vancouver Island, so sorry, folks, Vancouver Island, and be able to see the beautiful city of Victoria, highly suggest it. Maybe you can get see Bouchard Gardens, or even a nice opportunity to do high tea at the Fairmont Empress, which we can certainly provide that experience for you. So, folks, this is our Canadian Rail Experience package. It is, again, a beautiful 8-day journey. It starts in Toronto, ends in Vancouver. But if you want to flip the package in reverse, no problem. We can certainly do that. It starts at $1,899. It includes the rail accommodations, the hotels, and sightseeing tours in the destination. All right, folks. So now we're going to be heading back down to the U.S., and we're going to be talking about our Scenic America by rail with the Grand Canyon. So again, this trip starts in New York City and ends in Los Angeles. And this trip allows you to be able to visit Grand Canyon National Park, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. But first, you'll climb on board the legendary Southwest Chief. The Southwest Chief is actually, believe it or not, very iconic. During the early 1900s, when Hollywood became very big and very popular in demand, a lot of Hollywood stars would actually travel on board the Southwest Chief, and it's still iconic to this day because many passengers love to travel through the Red Rocks, going over through the canyons. They're only a few feet wider than the train itself. Painted colorful canyons, and even, of course, some beautiful small towns. Even you can see some pueblos along the way. This is just an iconic journey on the Southwest Chief. And you'll travel on board the first night going through across the great Mississippi River, going through the agricultural region of the U.S. Appreciate those farmers. They're the backbone of this nation. And you'll then, of course, wake up the next morning going through the canyons, as I talking about, going through Colorado, going through Arizona, before you arrive into Williams that evening. From there, you'll stay with us in Williams for one night at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel, an iconic hotel, and it's also right next door to the 1908 train station. It's completely refurbished and taken care of, and then you'll climb on board the Grand Canyon Railway, one of my favorite train journeys in the U.S., the Grand Canyon Railway, which will take you on a 2-hour journey from Williams up to the south rim of Grand Canyon National Park. And along the way, you're going to see amazing scenery from the beautiful deserts, the flat plains, going in through the Ponderosa Pines of Khabib National Forest before you arrive into the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And all this will be shown to you on board by the staff. And there are several different classes of accommodations on board, from coach, first, observation dome, luxury observation dome, and luxury parlor class. I highly suggest, if you're traveling with a loved one, maybe you're celebrating a special occasion like an anniversary or even a honeymoon, why not upgrade to luxury dome or luxury parlor class? Those are the more upscale accommodations with only passengers 16 over old that are only allowed in these carriages. Children under the age of 16 aren't allowed, and also they have access to the bar area too, which can't have a vacation without having a drink, right? And then once you're staying with us at the Grand Canyon, you'll be staying with us there at one of our preferred lodges. So we have great options to choose from the Kachina Lodge, the Thunderbird Lodge, we got the Bright Angel Lodge, the Maswick, but one of my favorites is the El Tovar. This is the iconic El Tovar Hotel that was built back in 1905 by the Fred Harvey Company, which is the subcontracting group of the Santa Fe Railway for any rail enthusiasts out there. And the El Tovar is one of the most iconic hotels to stay at, and it's actually a historical landmark. Many famous passengers who stayed there, such as Albert Einstein, Theodore Roosevelt, Jane Grey, who is a famous Western author, and even, of course, many other presidents like George W. Bush and Bill Clinton have stayed at this beautiful lodge. And it's got some great rooms and upgrades that we can, of course, accommodate for. If this is something that you're looking to stay at, please book this well in advance with us, just because this lodge does book out far up in advance. So if you want to stay there, please let our consultants know. We'll, of course, see what's available if you're flexible with your dates. After time exploring Grand Canyon National Park, you'll then head out further west on the Southwest Chief down to Los Angeles, where you'll stay with us there for a few nights to be able to explore this iconic city and even maybe check out the coastal beaches. To make sure your family packs their swimming trunks to check out the California beaches. They're just world-renowned. So, folks, again, this is our Scenic America by rail with the Grand Canyon. So, again, another great option if you're looking to experience cross-country by train, but you want to hit up a national park along the way, this is another great package. It's 13 days, starting at $3,349. That includes 2 nights in New York City, 2 nights in Chicago. You got the 1 night in Williams, right on Route 66, 2 nights inside Grand Canyon National Park, and then 2 nights in Los Angeles. You got your hotels, sightseeing tours, rail accommodations, and more included in this itinerary. All right, folks. Now we're going to talk about our Central Glacier National Park round trip from Chicago. This is another great park that I just love. I love Glacier National Park. It is so beautiful and just so majestic that honestly it blows people's minds away. It blew my mind, I'll say that, when I visited last year with my family. And you'll climb on board the one of the luxurious trains, the Empire Builder. Now, the Empire Builder actually got its name from the original founder and CEO of the Great Northern Railroad, which is James J. Hill. He was the railroad tycoon who was actually able to develop this line from Chicago going out to the Pacific Northwest. He had 2 obstacles in his way. You got the Rocky Mountains, and you also got the Cascade Mountains, 2 treacherous mountain regions in the U.S. But he was able to develop this line and actually find a passageway that would not hurt his railroad. And that's why they nicknamed him the Empire Builder, because where most people thought it was nearly impossible, he thought it was possible to do. So that's why they nicknamed him that name. And it stuck even through when Amtrak took over in 1971. They wanted to keep that name for the route because it is so popular. But it travels through, of course, some amazing destinations, such as going through Wisconsin, Minnesota, up to North Dakota, to the Big Sky Country area of Montana before you pull into Glacier National Park. And again, you're going to see some stunning scenery along the way, such as big pine trees. You've got some Missouri lakes, beautiful flat plains. It's just a great train journey. And then you'll arrive at Glacier National Park the next day because you'll be traveling overnight on board the Empire Builder. And while you're staying with us at Glacier National Park, you'll be staying at the Glacier Park Lodge. This is the iconic Glacier Park Lodge. It is a National Historic Landmark that was construction in 1913 and completed its build in 1914, and it is an iconic iconic place to stay at, where it's got the Great Northern Dining Hall, wonderful golf course. It's actually the oldest golf course on site, the entire state of Montana. Beautiful outdoor pool where you can be able to get some great views of the Rocky Mountains, and also, of course, some amazing rooms where you can stay, and even get an upgrade to a balcony view room where you can get a great view of Dancing Lady Mountain. But many people are not just staying there for the lodge itself. They want to explore Glacier National Park, which all of our tours do pick up from the lodge itself, where you can be able to do our iconic Big Sky Circle tour on the historic Red Jammer buses, or even doing our our 2 Medicine Valley Lake boat cruise, so a great way to be able to see other parts of the park. So I just want to kind of stop here for just a quick moment, just to kind of share with you, where can you travel to by train? As you can see, folks, there are so many great destinations you could travel to by train. As a reminder, Amtrak has over 500 plus stations right here in the U.S. where you can travel to, and over 30 plus routes where you can be able to see so many great, destinations, national parks along the way. And honestly, sometimes people think, okay, I just want to get there. I want to get there. But taking the train is part of the vacation. Some people think actually, the train journey is more important than the destination. Because you can see so much more, in my personal opinion, as a train enthusiast. So, folks, again, that's our Essential Glacier National Park. This is round trip from Chicago. It's 5 days, starting at $1,039. Includes all that you see and more with this great rail vacation itinerary. Again, it's 2 nights. Stay at the Glacier Park Lodge. You get the Big Sky Circle tour, at even a meal experience included with your stay as well. All right, folks. So our last package of the day, this is our Grand National Parks with Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park round trip from Washington, D.C. So again, this is for those passengers who are maybe on the East Coast, or even as a reminder, we can always customize it to start from your hometown. But just to give you an idea, you'll start with us in Washington, D.C., get to be able to check out our nation's capital, check out the Capitol building, maybe views of the White House. You can even check out the National Mall with the Smithsonian Museums. And then you'll, of course, head over and visit Grand Canyon National Park. That's our first park on the stop of this tour, where you could be able to see the seventh wonder of the world. Did you know, folks, by the way, it's not only the seventh wonder of the world, but did you know over 7 million visitors each year visit Grand Canyon National Park? Here's another lucky number 7 info for you. Did you know that the South Rim is actually 7,000 feet deep? So if you want to take a little side trip over to Las Vegas and bet a lucky number 7, you may be lucky. After your time exploring Grand Canyon National Park, you'll head out further west and go over to Los Angeles and climb on board the iconic and one of my favorite train journeys, the Coast Starlight, being able to see some amazing coastal views along the way as you head up to San Francisco, where while you're staying in San Francisco, we do offer a day trip to Yosemite National Park. Now you get to be able to check out Brideville Falls, Yosemite Falls, El Capitan, Half Dome, Tunnel Meadow, even, of course, Mariposa Grove, very famous for those high redwood trees. And after time exploring Yosemite, you'll head up to Seattle, where you'll get to be able to see the beautiful Emerald City. You can check out the Space Needle, the Chili Garden Glass exhibit, maybe do an Argosy cruise while you're there to get to be able to see some great views of the Cascades before you climb on board the Empire Builder, heading eastbound to visit Glacier National Park. And while visiting Glacier National Park, folks, definitely check out, St. Mary's Lake. This is where you can be able to see Wild Goose Island. There's definitely an interesting story about Wild Goose Island that the tour guides will be able to explain to you. And even going over the west part of the park, you can be able to see Lake McDonald, the largest lake in the park, and even check out Rainbow Pebble Beach, just an iconic place to see. So, folks, that is our Grand National Parks with the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park round trip from Washington, D.C. 16 days starting at $5,849. Includes all that you see here and more with this great rail vacation itinerary. So now I wanted to, of course, go into depth about what is life like on board an Amtrak train. Well, first and foremost, each passenger is able to bring on 2 free carry-on bags per person, and that's under 25 pounds per bag, as well as 2 free check bags under 50 pounds per bag. What airline folks can offer that? None that I could think of. And here's another great thing: luggage can be checked in 45 minutes prior to departure. Now, the first onboard accommodation I did want to share with you all is coach class. This is usually what's included in our packages, and it's a great option for those who want to get, again, on maybe with, fit it within their budget. But the coach class is very comfortable seats that do fold down to a 45-degree angle. Got a footrest, large picturesque window to enjoy those vistas and views on the train. You also got power lights, reading, air quality control, as well as power outlets, air quality control, and reading lights. I'm so sorry about that, folks. And then you also got, of course, a fold-out tray table, so if you want to enjoy a snack, a beverage at your seat, or even do some work on your laptop, you can certainly do that there. Look at this. Extra space for luggage. No longer do you have to try to cram your luggage in those main cabin compartments on an airplane. But many of our passengers usually upgrade to those private sleeping accommodations on board to get the true overnight experience on board a train. So let's talk about some of those important things to know about when you upgrade to a private sleeping accommodation on board. First and foremost, you get the privacy of your own door. So when you are in your cabin, as soon as you shut that door, you're able to remove your mask and just breathe and enjoy the journey. On board the train, you are still required to wear your mask as you travel throughout the train cars, going into the observation dome, or as well as sitting in the dining car and also at the train stations. But when you're in your private sleeper, you can be able to remove your mask. And you also have, of course, your own dedicated car attendant that's there to serve you throughout the journey, making sure your time on board the train is perfect, a splendor to be able to enjoy in the private sleeping accommodations. They also take care of your toiletries, bottled water, coffee service, as well as they can even bring your meals into your private sleeper. So you have that option to have that, if you think of it as like almost a butler service, to be able to enjoy at your disposal. And if you wish to not have your meals in your sleeper, that's okay too. We can also, of course, have you join your meals in the dining car, though that is another option. And they did bring back traditional dining, which I'm super stoked about. On board the train, there are several different classes of accommodations in the private sleepers, but we're going to focus on the major 3 that are the most bulk with Amtrak Vacations. The first is the roomette. The roomette is the most economical option on board the train. It's 2 seats facing one another during the day, and it folds into a bunk bed style configuration for 2 at night. It also, of course, offers a large picturesque window to enjoy those vistas and views on the train. You can also, of course, have power outlets, reading lights, air quality control, and heating, and also, of course, that door that locks from the inside. And then right across the hall is the restroom and shower facilities. But this is what it looks like when it's transformed into that lower berth at night. Again, very comfortable, very spacious for you to enjoy. And this is a great option for either a solo passenger or traveling up to 2 adults. You can fit 1 to 2 small suitcases in your room, and the private restroom and shower facilities are right across the hall. The room length and dimensions are down below to, of course, show you what the dimensions are like. But if you're looking for more space and you want a more, more of your own private ensuite included in your cabin, we do have that option that's called the bedroom. The bedroom is a couchette with a nice captain's chair during the day, very similar amenities in the room that you could find, as well as a luggage rack right above here. But you also notice they have their own private ensuite with bathroom and shower included. This transformed to a bunk bed style configuration for 2 at night with a ladder that gets top bunk, but again, lots of space for you to be able to, roam around in, as well as be able to just enjoy while you're traveling in the comforts of the train. So again, this does sleep up to 2 adults. This is also a great option for a solo passenger if they wish to do so. It does fit about 1 to 2 small suitcases in your room, and as I mentioned before, you have your own private ensuite with bathroom and shower included, as well as vanity in your bedroom accommodations. And here are the room length and dimensions below. Now, the last accommodation on board is the accessible bedroom, very similar in style as the regular bedroom, but this is for those who need additional assistance. Either they have a wheelchair or a walker. Please let our staff know if you or if yourself need additional assistance on board the train. Let us know that we can, of course, recommend or even make sure we can get the availability for the accessible bedroom. Just be aware that there's only 1 per train car, and normally on average during the high season is usually 3 to 4 carriages with 1 accessible bedroom per carriage. So they do sell it quite quickly. So if this is something that you're looking for, please book well in advance with us. That way we can offer you the accessible bedroom. And it is ADA compliant, folks, so they do of course, offer an ADA accessible bathroom. They, of course, also have extra space for you to be able to store your wheelchair if you need additional assistance, and also there's space for your another passenger on board for you as well. All right, folks. So just as a reminder, we do have our everyday discounts that you may be eligible for. This is for children aged 2 to 12 is 50% off the rail portion. Seniors over the age of 65 receive 10% discount off the rail portion, and military, either active or retired military personnel and their family, can be able to receive a 10% discount off the rail portion. But I just want to say, folks, on the behalf of myself and all of us here at Amtrak Vacations and Rail Bookers, thank you so much for taking this great rail vacation with me today, this virtual train tour. I hope you enjoyed it and found some great information and knowledge, hopefully learning about some of the rail routes, even also, of course, maybe some great ideas to start planning for your next rail vacation with us here at Amtrak Vacations. If you have any questions, or if you're starting to look in at, planning your next vacation and want an instant quote, give us a call at 1-800-268-7252 for Amtrak Vacations. Or maybe if you want to look at Rail Bookers, that's our our international brand. That's at 1-888-829-3040. Or even contact your local travel advisor as well. But again, thank you so much and have a train-tastic day. Bye-bye.